Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heroes Havens podcast. My name is Jacob Hernandez, and I am Spider-Man. I'm really sorry about that. I had to do it. Gonna be the theme of the episode. First and foremost, I want to shout out to one of my best friends, Christian. He got me this statue as a but as a congratulatory to actually doing and starting my own podcast. It is the sickest thing I have ever seen. Spider-Man 2, an overhated game. It's a great story, but look how badass this thing is. This thing is so sick, and I just want a huge thank you to Christian for inspiring me to kind of do these kind of things, and then also celebrating me and also being there for me throughout all these years and being someone I could talk comics, video games, and movies like we always have. Thank you. I appreciate you. But today we are going to be talking everything Brand New Day. Cast, set, leaks, the suit, the theories that are going around, everything and anything Spider-Man Brand New Day. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out July 31st, 2026. And today is August 9th as of filming this. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I don't know. They just started filming on July 31st. I don't know how it's going to work as far as filming an entire movie and then post-production. That flip seems really, really fast. But with everything they've announced, with everything they've shown, everything that's been leaked, this will be the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. So throughout this episode, I'm going to periodically be looking at my laptop I'm going to place the photos above so that everyone can see what I'm referring to. But the first and foremost we have to talk about is I guess we'll go in order of things. So we'll talk about that suit trailer. So in the suit trailer, you just see it's an 8-second video. I don't think I can put that up because of copyright reasons. But the thick webbings on the outside, in ode to Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, is amazing. If you know me, and maybe we can talk about it right now, actually. My rankings of Spider-Man in order go Andrew, Tom, Tobey. I am not a Tobey fan whatsoever. I think it captures Peter Parker really well. Even then, I think it misses on some things. But overall, I just don't think... when I look at Tobey, I don't see Spider-Man. When I see his Spider-Man do things, I don't think to a full extent that's how Spider-Man would handle things. I know that's a super duper hot take, but it's just my opinion. Tom Holland, I think he's overall maybe so he's not the best in any category. He's not the best Peter. He's not the best Spider-Man. He's just right in the middle. I appreciate that. I think he's just well-rounded. I think they're going to correct that in Brand New Day, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the embodiment of Spider-Man. His body language, the way he looks inside the suit, I think it's the best live-action suit that we've had so far. He's just it's so good. His web slinging, his movements in the air, the way you can read every single emotion and the way his eyes light up. And this is pre-CGI eyelids. So it's genuinely you see the facial acting, and it's something I appreciate. I think his movies there's some rough patches in those movies, but all in all, I think it's the best Spider-Man adaptation. And getting back to it, the way that Tom Holland's Brand New Day Spider-Man suits leaks kind of have gone about, in the first little trailer, actually, I thought it was going to be a red and black suit. I didn't think it was going to be the suit that we got from the end of No Way Home when he's swinging throughout New York on Christmas. But after another leak came out and then another, you see that it is the same suit. It is the thick webbings on the outside. You can see all the lining. He is going to have the arachnid kind of longer, but similar to the Tick that he had before suit. And it looks amazing. I want to see it post-production, but I think this could be a runner for the best suit we've ever had. And it just looks so good. And then going from there, we have, maybe I'm just going to throw up all the pictures kind of, maybe not now, but as we talk about them. We're going to go July 31st, which is National Spider-Man Day. They started filming. And in that first day of filming, we got arguably the sickest picture we have ever gotten in a Spider-Man movie ever. Yeah, I know the movie's not out yet, but it just looks so good with Spider-Man standing on top of the car, head down, and you just see this sea of people that's in resemblance to New York City, obviously. I believe my buddy told me that it's being filmed in Glasgow, Russia. So that's actually kind of interesting. The cost to film a movie in America is disgusting. That's why they don't do it anymore. But this picture looks amazing. This picture looks everything Spider-Man. You see a sea of people who believe in Spider-Man, who have hope and faith in Spider-Man, and he is everyone's hero. It looks like maybe he just got done saving someone. I don't know exactly. Could have just fallen off a building, but that wouldn't make sense because the way that the people look, it looks like the fight is over if it was a fight. But man, that scene just looks iconic. That in the midst of all of Marvel's downfall, this is just continuing this uphill swing that they have had throughout this last calendar year of 2025 with Brave New World, with Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. They are just, they've heard the feedback and they're adjusting to everything correctly. So that looks absolutely beautiful. And then another thing we got inside the set leaks is we see Spider-Man swinging. We have seen his stunt coordinator on the cables swinging while they're on a moving truck, crane, trailer. But they got explosions in the background. They have Spider-Man swinging. He looks like Spider-Man is supposed to be swinging. They've said that they are going to fix the problem with these last 3 Spider-Man movies is that there is no swinging. There is no Spider-Man feel. He's more just a character in a fight, kind of like a fighting game. And people don't want that. We want to see our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We want to see a grounded level character on the streets of New York, grabbing pickpockets who have stolen an old lady's purse. So it just looks like they've gotten all of this feedback and they're correcting everything they've done wrong. And it's phenomenal. It looks so promising. It looks like they genuinely care again, which is a crazy thing to say, really. And then another thing that is on the last picture of confirmed set leaks. So this is actually a little bit of speculation, but they had the tanks going throughout New York. And on the tanks, on the set, you see they have the little logo of the Inner Demons gang symbol, which is from Martin Lee's Mr. Negative, who is if you're not familiar, he's essentially a newer character, came in the late 20-teens, and he was running for mayor, actually. And he was a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Leader in the city, in the community, with organizations to feed the homeless and get kids off the streets and kind of take care of New York's people. And he gets a little corrupted due to his powers and all this. But Mr. Negative is the leader of the Inner Demons, and it's exactly what we want to see. We want to see Spider-Man in New York, not fighting aliens, not in space. Not that that's not going to come with due time, but we really need to hone in and develop Spider-Man as a individual character, not as a supporting character for the Avengers. Because from the sound of it, it looks like Spider-Man might be the I forget the official term, but one of the significant ones being in Universe 616. So it's really good and great that we are getting just this character in a city full of crime that we can look up to. Nothing personal because everyone's mind has kind of been wiped, and just someone who is overall and to a 100% good being. And I think that's amazing. I think that's exactly what Spider-Man has needed for a while now. And I'm just like staring at this because like I'm so excited. I love Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man tattooed on me. He's the perfect superhero to me. And then with that being said, we also are going to be talking about some of the leaks. So some of the leaks for the plot confirmed in Spider-Man Brand New Day is we have Sadie Sink has just been cast. The rumor is she's going to play Gwen Stacy. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. She's a redhead. So when you think redhead, you think Spider-Man, you think Mary Jane Watson. Obviously, this MJ in this universe is not a redhead, not white either. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the MJ slot is already filled. So Peter's other and first true love interest and like his actual love before she dies was Gwen Stacy. And I think Sadie Sink is a phenomenal actor, and Sadie Sink is going to be the Sam from Stranger Things, you know, and also in The Whale. She is a phenomenal actor, and I think it's going to be interesting. I guess I really haven't thought too deep about it, but I really wanted this Spider-Man movie to show off his pain and his loss of MJ and his loss of his best friend Ned, and how nobody knows Peter. Nobody remembers Peter. He's going through everything by himself. Peter is dead. Peter is behind him. It is just Spider-Man all day, all night. And I was kind of hoping we'd get this little dark arc. Gwen Stacy obviously is going to be a love interest, if this is true. This is all rumors, by the way. All going to be rumors. And, you know, it's weird to say I wasn't ready for Peter to be happy or have hope. It's kind of Spider-Man's best runs are when he's at his breaking point and he's lost everything and he's battling this with great power comes great responsibility, and to like quit and to stop and to give in and do something for himself, which he never does. And, you know, I was really excited and hoping they were going to tap in with that. But it's okay. You know, it's a rumor. Might not be true. So far, everything they've done is in the right direction. So who am I to turn tides now when things are getting a little rocky? You know, we gotta see it through. Another, and this is my maybe potential rumor I'm spreading, but maybe it's Mayday Parker. You know, I wouldn't like that. I would not like that. But just being the redhead and Mayday Parker is in the comics. Peter has a son and a daughter, his daughter being his firstborn, but her name is Mayday. And I mean, with Marvel nowadays, you just never know. With all the universe jumping, with all the time travel now, what if Mayday goes back in time and tries to do something to rescue Peter? Just a little theory, but I wouldn't like that because, like I said, I want us to have a New York level movie. I don't want no cosmic threats. I don't want no aliens, no time travel. I want to see Peter Parker fighting in the sewers against the Lizard, fighting the Green Goblin throughout New York City. I think that would be really awesome. And then another rumored cast member joining the film, and this was actually as of this morning, but the rumor was Joe Keery, who is also a Stranger Things cast member who plays Steve. But the rumor is he might be playing Harry Osborn, which is Green Goblin's son, Norman Osborn's son. I think that's a perfect cast. I think he feels like a character that would kind of be in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, like a little younger, a little more jolly, I think it would be great. I would love to see Joe Keely's acting ability kind of branch out as well into these darker characters. I've only personally seen him in Stranger Things and Free Guy. Free Guy not being the best movie ever, but he did his part and he played it very well. Steve in Stranger Things, I mean, he steals the show. He steals the show in Stranger Things, and I think they're just doing everything right. I said it last week, and I've officially gone live with the podcast now, and so people have kind of gotten back to me, but this really is the best time to be a comic book fan, to be a superhero buff. Like, there's no better time than right now. We didn't witness the universes die, but I mean, everyone stopped. The hype stopped completely. People were skipping out on movies. People were waiting until a movie came out on Disney Plus because there was no urgency to go watch the movie when it aired because we weren't even that worried about spoilers. And it's really cool to witness in real time the hype come back and see everyone get excited and see the engagements online and see people post and talk about the things that we grew up loving and what we kind of like witnessed birth. I mean, with Iron Man and Batman Begins, it was the beginning of a new chapter in the superhero genre. We obviously have the Clooneys and the Val Kilmers and the I am blanking on Superman's actors' names, but I mean, in the 90s, they had all that. I was born in 98, but I mean, we witnessed in real time this first ever universe be created in front of us, where now, I mean, almost every movie that comes out is either going to get a sequel or it's a part of some other universe, which is a good and a bad thing. These original movies are like Sinners. Sinners is a phenomenal movie that on its own did what it needed to do. And it did it better than most movies. It was one of the greatest horror movies of the last decade. But regardless, I'm very excited for those rumor casts. And then some other confirmed casts were John Bernthal reprising his role as the Punisher. Very excited for that. Frank Castle and Spider-Man have some glorious moments in the comics. I can only imagine what the dialogue between these two specific, Tom Holland and John Bernthal's Punisher, will be. But really great things, especially on a New York level, going to war with where Daredevil Born Again left off. Spoiler alert, Punisher going to war with the police. And we also are now being introduced to the inner demon gangs. Like, where does Punisher and Spider-Man draw the line? Because Spider-Man won't kill, it's really exciting. And then we also have confirmed that Hulk is going to be in the movie. And this is kind of where I wanted to shift a little bit from talking about the rumors and the leaks to the confirmings, because the original, and I don't want to say confirmed because I guess it's not confirmed anymore. So I'll say rumor, but Hulk was supposedly going to be the bad guy, which is very interesting. I'm really hoping that they adapt it well. I hope we get an aggressive Hulk. If Hulk is the villain, then obviously Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, has lost control, and Hulk is going to go back to being a savage, maybe even Savage Hulk. But we're overdue. It's been since 2012 Avengers movie since we've last seen the Hulk turn around, and do just unleash and fully be a Hulk and smash things and scream. And we deserve that. Hulk is a favorite character for many, and the MCU has done a terrible job adapting him. I understand they got to give Mark Ruffalo a chance to act, and they got to give Mark Ruffalo his flowers for just being the accredited actor he is. But we want a Hulk. We want to see Hulk smash. We want to hear him scream. We don't want to hear him yell no when he is called to fight Thanos or the Chitauri as they're invading Wakanda. We don't deserve that. I am not the biggest Hulk fan, but as someone who's not a Hulk fan, I can tell you they've done terrible with the character. And it's really sad. But in Brand New Day, if they give him the chance to kind of be a savage Hulk, I mean, imagine Frank Castle and Peter Parker arguing with each other about what to do with the New York City police, with what to do with the Inner Demon gang, with what to do with all of that. And then you just get Hulk out of nowhere kind of making the decision for them, but with others involved. And now you got Frank Castle and Peter Parker going to war with the Hulk. I mean, there's no winning that. Like, I want to see that. I want to see a unwinnable situation present these street level New York City characters and how they handle everything and how they adapt everything. So it's such a great time to be a Spider-Man fan. I am beyond excited. I don't have the words for it. It's crazy to think that as of August right now, we're not going to get a Marvel film for 11 months. But this has to be worth the wait. It just has to be. I also totally blanked on this and I'm remembering it now, but they hired the stunt coordinator for Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi's stunt coordinator is doing all of the stunts, the fights, the web slinging. Shang-Chi has the best choreography in all of Marvel. So it's just, they're doing everything right. They're doing everything we've asked for. So who am I now to turn my back and say they've done a bad job? I just got to trust the process and really continue to be a fan and support and hope that they continue to do everything right, because they're doing everything right. And now I would like to review Weapons. I believe it's Zach Kreger. I totally blanking on his, yes, Zach Kreger. Director of Barbarian, is director of Companion. He made Weapons. So before I review Weapons, I just want to put into perspective Jordan Peele, director of Get Out, Us, the new movie Him, director of Nope. He started off as a comedian, came out the gates hot with Get Out, and kind of like set his place in the horror genre and really revamped the horror genre. We were left with some duds for many, many years, and he definitely sparked life back into that. Well, Jordan Peele, who has nothing to do with this movie, lost the bidding war for this movie. So he read the synopsis or read the script. I don't remember which of the two, but he let his team do the bidding for him, and he lost the movie, and he completely fired everyone. Anyone that had to do with the bidding, he cut them out of his team because he wanted this movie that bad. And it shows. Weapons is one of those movies you just got to go in. If you just watch the one trailer, which is what I believe you should do with all movies nowadays, is watch the first trailer that comes out and just wait. You just wait till the movie comes out. Everything gets spoiled nowadays. But if you watch the trailer with the little girl talking at 2:17 a.m., all the kids in Miss Candy's class were never seen again. They run out of their house and they were never seen again. They weren't taken. They just were never seen again. If you just watch that one trailer and you don't see anything else and you don't hear anything else, you don't know what to expect. You know it's a horror movie. And then leading up to this movie coming out, as you see more and more things, I obviously not looking for anything, but all I was seeing was that people are walking out of this movie saying it's the best horror movie they've ever seen. It's the best horror movie they've ever seen. Up until the movie came out, it had over 40 reviews at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And it's just like, whoa, like, okay. I couldn't tell you what the movie's about at all. And wow, does it live up to the hype? I don't want to talk about what necessarily the movie is, because I think you'd be better off without it. But let me just give it my score. Something starting this podcast has actually taught me is that I am very much a recency bias kind of reviewer. And with that being said, I would like to give this movie a 9.5. I think this movie is phenomenal. It is scary. It was the first movie I've seen in this post-COVID era, post-Infinity War era, where if you go to a movie theater, I mean, you really, if you're lucky, you get, or I don't know if it's luck, but I like my theaters kind of empty. It's just me in there. But like, this theater was packed. Every seat was pretty much taken. And it was kind of weird, maybe because of the culture we've lived in as of recently, these last 5-10 years. But people weren't used to seeing other people in the theaters. And when this movie first started, everyone was kind of like, there were little kids in the back talking and laughing. And then there was like couples kind of talking, and everyone's kind of just like, never in my life will I be like, shut up. You know, I'm just like, yeah. I just complain about it in my head. But it was in real time watching the first scary scene happen and hearing the entire theater go completely silent. From that point forward, there was not a sound made unless someone screamed, unless someone got absolutely jump scared. And I don't want to say this is a jump scare movie because it's not jump scare horror, but it's just, that was the only time you heard something was when someone was scared for their life. And I handle horror movies very well. I take pride in watching horror movies. I love them. I love everything about them except gore. I don't do gore horror like Terrifier. It's just not my thing. I'm not into it. But in Weapons, there was a scene. And again, I want to do you, the listener, justice by not saying what exactly happens. But there was a scene in the movie where I yelled, and I mean, not shrieked like, ah, but I was like, oh, you know, and I did it so loud and I felt bad. But then, I mean, there were several other people next to me that screamed, and that just goes to show like this movie does everything so well. Arguably there's a little pacing problem in the beginning. But if that, you know, once the movie gets going, it gets going and it doesn't stop. The entire movie is on the edge of your seat. I mean, when I was sitting in my recliner at the theater, I was moving my knees constantly from being comfortable to having my knees up because I don't like my little feet hanging off the chair. You know, I love horror movies, but I get spooked. Like I just get scared, and it's not in the scared like I want to stop watching, but I'm like, oh, you know, like what the is that? It's unlike any horror movie that's been done before either, which I think is amazing in a world where creativity is everywhere. To see something that's so original and so well executed on its original kind of launch. And I take pride in also not watching or talking about movies now that I've started reviewing them, because I want to keep all my thoughts to myself and original. But the comparison that I saw, and this is the closest thing I can get to kind of recommending. Oh, I'm sorry, Nova. And kind of seeing everything myself, but like one Twitter, and it wasn't like a review, but it was like a sentence where the person said, Weapons is everything Longlegs wanted to be. And I loved Longlegs, but after watching Weapons, I see the comparison. I see where Longlegs kind of fell short now, and all I can do is just say you need to watch this movie. If you like horror, if you like thriller, if you like suspense, if you like feeling like uncomfortable, you just got to check this movie out. You have to. It's so fantastic. It's so well executed, and I understand why Jordan Peele fired everyone. I mean, if I have the creative mind, granted, I can't even draw like a circle. If I had the creative mind to adapt to the things that I have in my head, man, and I saw that what Weapons was on paper, yeah, someone did something wrong and they definitely needed to be dealt with. Maybe not fired because these are people's lives, but like, I understand. It was a huge mistake. And I actually had like a spoiler review I wanted to go over with, but I think for the sake of you, the listener, and I think I want to do this movie justice by not saying like you just need to watch it. I'm gonna kind of skip over some of these notes I have, but without spoilers. So I'm just gonna go into talking about the acting of the movie. There is a little boy in the film who is the only student who doesn't leave the classroom. His name is Alex, played by Carrie Christopher. He carries this film. Carrie carries the film. Without him being able to play this little boy that he does, the film would fall short. You know, you could have everyone in the town blaming themselves, but if the little kid doesn't feel the pressure of being the only survivor of this classroom, you absolutely lose the film, you know? And this little boy, Alex, man, he can't be older than 12 years old. He himself takes this film into the next level and really puts this movie in this upper echelon of horror movies. You know, you feel every emotion he's trying to make you feel. And as an actor, that's all you can ask for. And it's just phenomenal to see this young talent and all these shows and TV movies lately, because that's our future. You know, we have Timothée Chalamet maybe being the next Leonardo DiCaprio, starting from a young age and just in these blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster movies. But now we're getting it with these younger and younger kids, with the Stranger Things cast, with they're all doing their own things. Carrie Christopher, you know, and it's just, man, he does such a phenomenal job. And then there is Aunt Gladys, who is played by Amy Madigan. I hate you. I hate you more than anything. I'm terrified of you. At my core, you are everything I hate about a horror movie. And you did it so well. My hat is off to you. You fudge. You, I don't take pride in saying this part. After that movie, I got home. It was a little after midnight, but I get home. I FaceTimed several of my friends. I could not be by myself. I was genuinely scared. On FaceTime, I'm going through my entire house, door by door, room by room, clearing everything. I was the only one home, and every single light was on. Everything was, I could not be alone. I normally go to bed at a decent time, and I was up all night because I was genuinely at my core scared to fall asleep. And I just think that any character that can make you feel those kind of things, like, you just did a great job. Now, as far as Aunt Gladys goes for award seasons, I mean, I believe it's, I don't even want to give it a shot, actually. I'm sorry. Toni Collette. I don't know why I blinked on that. I was going to say Colleen Collette, but that didn't sound right. Award seasons. It's so early to call out award seasons, but in the horror genre, and this is something I feel comfortable talking about, in the horror genre, they don't necessarily get awards. The movies get overlooked. Being based upon acting gets undervalued in horror movies. Toni Collette maybe puts on the greatest performance of the last decade in Hereditary by Ari Aster, and it's just that's really bugging me. Carrie Christopher genuinely takes little Alex takes this movie to the next level, and he elevates it. Like by himself, this little 12-year-old boy elevates the movie to the next level. And I just think, is this the swing? With Long Legs coming out last year and that one making the motion that it made and the traction that it gained, Sinners being a horror movie this year, arguably Weapons and Sinners are 2 top 5 movies of 2025 so far. I wouldn't be mad if you put them 1 through 5 in any order. I would not be mad if you did that. I just maybe this was the movie that gets the Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt innovated the jump from getting awards to stuntmen and stunt choreographers. Is Hereditary going to be taking this? Hereditary, I'm sorry. Is Weapons by Zach Krieger going to take these movies to the next level of recognition and really showing that, like, just because this movie banks on captivating your emotions and heightening everything to the highest level, like, isn't that what a good movie does though? I've always been confused by that. This movie deserves at least nominations. It's a beautifully made movie. Everything they do is, I'm sorry. I'm just going through scenes in my head and I can't say them because it doesn't do you justice. And the best thing that I could say as a movie reviewer is to check this movie out, because whatever you're expecting, I promise you it's not that. And whatever you're not expecting, I feel like it's not that either. This movie's just, it's made perfectly. In Fantastic Four, I said you could tell they clearly cut things out. This movie feels perfect. Doesn't feel like there is a single scene that could have used another minute of dialogue. Everything felt so correct, and I really hope you check it out. And if you do, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. What did you think of Weapons? What would you give it out of 10? What did you like? What did you not like? Do you think the horror genre should get awards? Let me know, because I'm curious, and I've never really had these deep conversations as far as awards go. I talk about movie reviews with my friends, and now I can finally talk about this movie with my friends, because I try, like I said, to keep all my thoughts in my head to myself until I record, because I want them to be genuine. I want them to be authentic. I want you to kind of go through the wave of things and solving things with me. But on that note, I think it is time for us to go over the comic series recommendation of the week. And it's kind of a theme right now. Oh, dude, that thing's really getting to me. It's kind of a theme right now, but and this will maybe be my last week that I do this. But without further ado, I mean, it had to be Spider-Man. It just had to be. This is not the comic series that I am recommending. It's in the same universe. The Absolute Universe was for DC. This is the Ultimate Universe. So the Ultimate Universe is a non-canon to the main Marvel storyline in the comics, but the Ultimate Universe is a spin-off, and this is actually a spin-off of the spin-off. So this is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 1. This cover, I want to get it framed. I've never gotten a comic graded, but I actually want to submit this to get graded and maybe have this as background. This cover is beautiful. It is Miles Morales fighting the Spot, and you just look at that. You can't not. But the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, I apologize. It's written, of course, by, like I said, the same author as last week, my favorite author, Jonathan Hickman. In the Ultimate Universe, Chapter 1, essentially, it's what if Spider-Man, and it's almost like a what if universe, but what if Spider-Man never got bit by the spider? What if he starts a family with MJ, and Uncle Ben's alive? What does Uncle Ben do if he never gets shot when Peter's a teenager in high school? What happens? And in this Ultimate Spider-Man universe, spoiler, it's in the first comic, I don't feel too bad, but Spider-Man gets bit as an adult, He is, I believe, a 34-year-old journalist. You know, he a photographer, and he does the Daily Planet, the Daily Bugle. Oh, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, that actually just got under my skin. But you know what happens then when Peter never learns with great power comes great responsibility? Where does everything go? And when he does get bit by a spider as an adult male with children, I mean, where do you, how are things different? You know, if you were to go through a life experience you went through as a kid right now, what would be different? I'd like to think a lot, you know, your mind is more developed. You're more wise. You're maybe less wise. You know, you haven't been through what you've been through. So you never learned to go through that. And it's just, I mean, I credit to Jonathan Hickman, but it's just so well done. It's a breath of fresh air for Peter Parker. It's fresh, but it's new. It's original, but it's got all the themes that we love with Spider-Man. And again, thank you. And also, this is my first podcast I have recorded since going live with my YouTube channel. And I would like to thank every single person who commented on my post, who shared, who subscribed. In that last episode, I had set a goal for 100 YouTube subscribers for the year of 2026. And as of recording this podcast, I'm already at over 50, and just, I cannot express enough how grateful I am. And I don't want to make this seem bad, but there are people that I haven't talked to in over 10 years who reached out and just said, hey, like, I'm going to listen to it. And it's just, it warms my heart truly to feel that kind of love, and kind of, you know, it really made me feel like this is what I should be doing. Just give it my all. And thank you guys so much. But yeah, maybe give the YouTube video a like. If you've stumbled upon this and you haven't subscribed yet, this is something you're into, maybe subscribe. And if not, no worries. Comment what you think. If you've read any of the comics so far, if you need any more recommendations. Oh my gosh, let me get this guy up. And then, I'm sorry about that. And I promise the quality of this podcast will get better. I know this guy's taped down. Last week, these were crooked. This thing fell over. It's just passion to me, you know? I'm making do with what I got, and I'm trying to provide. But let me know what you guys think. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. And with great power comes great responsibility.